Urban Therapy with Sun752, and this your daily go-getimism number 533 for March 19th, 2016. Tonight we want to talk about the way things smell. The smell of it, just for the smell of it. You know, out of all of our sensory perceptions, a lot of times we don't give smelling the credit that it deserves. But what a lot of people don't know about your sense of smell is that it has a lot to do with the way that you select things, the way that you choose things. From the times that we're born, it may be true that our sense of smell is really our strongest sense at the time, because our eyesight, our hearing, maybe, our sense of taste, we haven't tasted a lot of things. So the only thing that we should really be concerned with as far as tasting is concerned is the milk from the breast of our moms. Of course, many of us, like me, didn't breastfeed, so, we drinking that cow milk. But that's a whole nother story. There's evidence to prove that newborn babies identify their parents by their smell, especially the mom, because there's a direct connection. Of course, she carried them for 9 months, and it's a really good way for the mother and baby to be able to have that connection. And it all starts there, and it pretty much continues as we get older. Though our sense of smell starts not to have as much importance in our lives as it once did, when we were basically powerless and we had to rely on all of our senses to be able to try to survive, even though we counted on other people to be able to guide us and to be able to navigate us through life in our very, very young formative years. So, when it comes to our sense of smell, what we have to realize is that human beings are just like animals. And animals, as you know, they rely on their sense of smell. One thing that we don't seem to understand as human beings is that we are the only species on Earth that chooses their mate by eyesight. Other animals don't do that. So when we only think in terms of the way humans behave and the way humans act, we think that other animals see another animal and like we think that they think that they're cute or something like that. There is no, I don't even know if animals or any other species has a sense of beauty. They do it by this, and that's why they don't make mistakes. That's why, like it or lump it, that's why there isn't any homosexuality in the animal species, because males smell like males, females smell like females. Ain't no more to it. They don't make mistakes. So of course you got a lot of you have a lot of people that try to find evidence that, oh no, there's homosexuality. No, there's not. There's not. If anything, then the wrong smell is coming off of the animal. And if that truly is the case, then more than likely at birth the mother is going to kill that animal. That's the way it works out in nature. But forget about all of that for a minute. I want to talk about the way that we determine things by smell. And we do. Now you already know that the things that you want to eat, the things that you select to eat, all go by your smell. We know that the food tastes good if we've eaten it before, but one of the things that gets our juices flowing and makes us crave and want the stuff that we eat is that we smell it. You walk past a bakery or even a fast food joint, you smell that food is smelling good, and that's what makes your mouth start watering and everything, and that's what makes you want to eat. Your sense of smell. So when things don't smell right to us, we're very put off by it. Sometimes it can make us nauseous. If you're like me, when you go to the market or the grocery store, whatever region of the country that you're in whatever you call it, when you go to the grocery store, if you're like me, you give everything that you buy a smell test. Make sure it's all right, because a lot of times in the markets they have those manager specials and things like that, and a lot of times that's older meat that really should be thrown out, but they do something to it. They repackage it and everything, and drain it and make it seem like it's fresh. So with that stuff, or any meat that you buy, you got to give it the smell test. Give it the smell test, and you know if it ain't smelling right, then you shouldn't buy it. As simple as that. Fish, whatever, it ain't smelling right, you shouldn't buy it. Same thing as produce. We can normally see that produce ain't really right, but I give it the smell test anyway. Why not? If your sense of smell is decent and you've been able to rely on it before, why not give it the smell test? It don't pass the smell test. A lot of people in our lives don't pass the smell test. And it's a funny thing that when you start talking about the way people smell, what stinks and what smells good is different from people to people, person to person, I should say. Cultural things have a weigh heavily on what we think smells good versus what we think stinks. For example, in the United States, we use so many things that are perfumed. We use body washes, we use lotions, we use deodorants, we use hair products. All of that stuff never smells like a chemical. It always smells like something sweet, like fruit or something like that. They give it a fragrance that's perfume-like. So we never know what our natural bodies smell like. Even those of us who don't use cologne or perfume, we still use scented soaps and things like that unless we're allergic, or unless we've come into the knowledge that we're really not supposed to use that stuff. And really we're not. But it's because we do use that kind of stuff with all those perfumes and stuff in it. We think that people that come from other countries stink because they're unscented. They only smell like human beings smell. So if you get in a cab with an African cab driver or Indian person or something like that, and to us they smell really funny. To some of us they stink. And then we start stereotyping. Oh, Africans be stinking, you know what I'm saying? Anybody from Europe, they be stinking. It's because they don't use the same kind of stuff that we use. And we think that the way that we are taught to smell is the only way that there is to be. And it's not true. As a matter of fact, people from other countries seem to think that Americans smell a little funny. And we think that we smell like, I don't know, sweet flowers. And it may be true to us. But what's foreign to a person is foreign to a person. And they may like it. They may be, the smell may be inviting to them. Or it may be like, ew, what's wrong with you? You smell like you just dove in a whole bottle of cologne or something. That's nasty. So, I'm not even going to go into the whole sexual part of things. Y'all already know what it is when it comes to that. If you have half a brain, when it comes to sex, you're going to give everything the smell test, and it better pass, or you shouldn't move forward. Of course, a lot of people go ahead and go forward anyway, because maybe they don't trust their smell. Maybe they don't trust their nose. What I think is interesting though is that even when people smell good and all of that, doesn't necessarily mean that they're clean. If you have done a lot of things to damage your nasal membranes, or should I say, if you've done a lot of things to dull your sense of smell, it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for you to taste things. It's going to be hard for you to sense certain dangers. If you've ever been in a fire or whatever, that smell of smoke is not something that you want to sleep on. Whether it's an electrical fire, whether it's paper burning, whether it's food burning or something like that, you want to be able to identify certain dangers so you can make moves in order to, get yourself to safety, create a safe environment. So your sense of smell is important as hell, man. It really is. And there was one last thing I wanted to say to y'all. I don't want to forget it. But now it's slipping my mind, but it'll come to me. I say this: good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. I remember what it is that I wanted to tell y'all. When it comes to your sense of smell, if you've ever smelled a dead carcass, or if you've ever discovered a decomposing body, you never forget that smell. You never forget it. No matter how much time goes by, it's like that smell burns a pathway in your nasal membranes, and if you smell anything that smells remotely like that, again, you know that you know what's going on. And it's kind of a traumatic experience too. And peace to anybody who has had to go through that, because it's terrible. I ought to know. Shout out to everybody who came to the Mind, Right, and Body Better Fitness program today. Make sure y'all come out to the Mind, Right, and Body Better Fitness program every Saturday. But next Saturday, it's not the Mind, Right, and Body Better Fitness program. Next Saturday is the spring cleaning event. No, it's not the Take the Fall event. The Take the Fall event is done. It's actually, it changes with the seasons, and it's time for the spring cleaning event, which was the first one that we ever did. That was April 11th last year. But it's time for spring. Spring is tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. And it's time for the spring cleaning event next Saturday, March 26th. So make sure y'all come through. 10 o'clock, Rittenhouse Street, Wissahickon Avenue. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the routine. We going out there in the woods. You know what I mean? Going hiking. That shit is going to be a bomb. I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all have a good night.